Well, welcome to level 3, and this is about how to be persuasive. And I must admit, early in my career, I made a lot of mistakes on this. I thought maybe firstly it was passion would persuade others. No. Then I thought it was logic. No, that didn't work either. Now, trust, as we've said in a previous level, is so important for us to establish, because what trust does is it gets people to listen to us and then to discuss with us honestly what we are going to do together. So trust is a great foundation, but trust on its own doesn't seem to get anywhere either. We need a technique to be able to put our view over that is a clear, logical progression. Remember, on the establishing trust, we've opened the gate from the emotion to the logic. We've opened the gate, the top part of the brain that can think. They now trust us and are listening. So what is the sequence that we take the thinking through? So let's have a look. There are some suggestions here for you, which I really do hope will help you to give a very, very consistent story to those that you're speaking to persuade and to influence. The first point, number one, is to start discussing what the situation actually is. Now, you and I have probably seen people jump to number 6 immediately. They get in a meeting or get in a conversation. They say, like, this is what we're going to do. This is our plan. If you scan those 6 steps, you probably recognize some that are often missing, such as number 5. Yeah, the risks are often not thought through, which causes catastrophes later on. Some people say number 3 is often missing. We don't look at different ways of doing things. We start at number 1. Why? Because we're gaining agreement from the person to start with. It's very difficult to disagree with number 1. Look, this is the situation, especially if we record facts at this stage, not feelings or emotions. So rather than here is the situation, people are a little bit apprehensive at work. That's just a feeling. It doesn't work. But if you said number 1, situation at work is 2 people are thinking of leaving. We have the figure 2 in there. It is a fact. It is a lot more difficult to resist. So describe the situation in facts and numbers. You'll get agreement on number 1. And then we build our way through these steps, agreement by agreement. The downside, the problems need to be stressed by outlining what's going to happen if we do nothing. Make that crystal clear. This is the problem, and this is what's going to happen if we do nothing. And as we go through building our options, 2 or 3 options I would suggest, and then choose the recommendation that's most attractive to the personality style, to the kind of person that you're talking to. So as you do this, then we can work on to, look, let's make sure this works. That's what number 5 is. Let's make sure this works so we don't let each other down. Let's look at what could go wrong, how to stop it, make it a safe decision, make it an honest decision. And then finally, what, when, and who. Who is going to invoke this? How are we going to monitor? Who's going to own it? Now, of course, as you see by those arrows on the left, we're progressing 1 stage at a time through this, getting agreement every time. And what do you do, let us say, when people disagree with you at number 4? We have some options, and no, they don't like your option. What do? Well, we take our discussion back to number 3 and generate some more options or discuss the options. What happens if they don't like number 5? Take it back to number 4. What happens if they don't like number 3? Take it back and get agreement to number 2. So you can see those other arrows on the right looping back, because what you're doing is building a step at a time and not moving until you get agreement at one level, then moving to the next. This is really good for meetings, by the way. Pop it up as an agenda for a meeting. It's good for presentations. It's definitely good for conversations, and it will give you that edge where you're taking people through a sequence and you are far more thoughtful and persuasive. You're not just giving people problems, you're giving people a series of steps to an agreed solution.